Guys, football's a dumb sport, isn't it? Like, this is a stupid game that we follow every week. Yeah, that's kind of my initial take coming out of that one. This is a stupid sport. First, before I get into this game, though, Merry Christmas Eve. I know that a vast majority of the people who watch this channel are Seahawks fans, and most of them take their team stuff very seriously. So for most people, this is I'd call it a pretty decent Christmas as far as football stuff goes. But outside of football stuff, hopefully you have a good holiday. And to those of you out there who are watching who maybe aren't Seahawks fans, I hope you have a good Christmas as well. But let's try to dissect this game because while the Seahawks did win, so it's not a bad football adjacent Christmas. I don't know how good it is. I don't know how excited we are because watching that game was mostly agonizing. Watching that game was mostly a miserable experience. Watching that game was pulling teeth for most of it, and I'm glad it's over with the Seahawks in the win column. I know that there are some people who have a different position on this, but for me, what I want to see this team do is win. I don't care if it's winning ugly. I don't care if it's winning hideously, kind of like it was today. I do want this team to win. I want this team to have success, and there's no real conflict in my mind about that. I definitely want them to play better than they played today. I definitely am seeking something better than that. But I want this team to win, and they did do that. That is the ultimate desire here. So, where do we start with this one? It's going to be a tough one to uncrack because both teams didn't really have the ball that much. I think the Titans had 8 possessions, and I think the Seahawks had 8 possessions too, which is less than you would expect. Oh, okay. Because I'll forget later, I'll just go ahead and lead with one thing about this game. These officials are some of the worst I've ever seen. This was one of the worst officiated games ever. Call after call after call, non call after non call after non call. And I think most of the bad stuff favored the Titans, but there was some stuff a little bit the other way too. So that was a miserably officiated game. And if there was any sense of justice in the world, if there was any sense of fairness, those guys should not have their jobs tomorrow. They were awful. They were a joke. And they don't deserve to have jobs tomorrow after what they did today. I know it's Christmas, but I'm sorry I'm firing you guys on Christmas. That was awful. You guys were a joke. All right. So now let's focus on our team. Let's focus on the stuff that we can actually have some degree of control over because bad calls are going to happen. Bad non-calls are going to happen. Should 20 points against the Titans' second string and third string happen? I mean, the thing with this is one of those games where you don't do very much for the first 3 quarters, but the most important quarter, you come up with 2 game-winning drives. You take the lead with a touchdown drive with what was it, like 10 minutes left, and then you take the lead with a touchdown drive with less than a minute left. That is kind of the essence of clutch football in the NFL, and the Seahawks offense with Geno or with Locke has actually been very good at that this year. Now, I'm okay with the game coming down to the last couple minutes against the Eagles. I'm okay with the game coming down to the last couple of minutes against the Lions. I don't know if I'm okay with it against this Titans team playing a bunch of backups and not really having anything going for them. So, straight up, I don't know if that's really I don't know if that's really something that I can get too excited about. But I will say this. I knew going into this game we were going to come out a little flat. I just knew we were going to come out flat because we played on Monday night last week. It was a huge, emotional, very narrow win. I thought we were going to come out flat. Now, I didn't think we were going to be flat for 3 quarters against this team. And some people got to answer for that. Mostly, for me, the offensive line. The offensive line is just... They got it together a little bit at the end there, but man, this offensive line is bad. And today, it felt like it was a little bit of everybody. I don't even think the tackles played that well. Bradford played really bad as near as I could tell. I'm going to have to rewatch some stuff. The interior of the offensive line is just a black hole. So to me, the offensive line is the main thing that I'm kind of hanging out to dry a little bit. There are one or two things that you can pick apart with some of these players, but on the whole, I'm not really mad at any other players. Like Charbonnet dropped a pass in the flats that probably would have been a good gain, but he also had some great blitz pickups as a pass protector that really helped us in the fourth quarter, which was big. Um, Geno Smith missed a couple of throws by being late in the red zone. He had a touchdown to, I think it was Parkinson, and maybe a touchdown to JSN that he was just a little bit late on. But he also came up with the big plays in the fourth quarter, 2 touchdown drives, multiple really good throws on those drives. So I'm not really mad at him. It would be kind of weird to be mad at him. Um, but there are some guys on this offense that I got to heavily praise right now. Mostly those receivers. Metcalf, I know he wasn't heavily involved in the fourth quarter the way we might expect, but he drew a big PI call inside the 5 yard line. He had the great touchdown catch, the juggling touchdown catch. JSN, I thought, made important plays. The 3rd and 14 that probably saved our season. Like that 3rd and 14, I was dead. You could have counted me out. I was on the floor, just like, get this over with. Let's just lose this game. I know we're going to lose. It sucks, but let's just get it over with. I know how this is going to end. And JSN's just like, no, it's not happening. I'm getting open over the middle. Geno's getting me the ball. We're going to go win this game. Lockett had a great bounce back game after kind of struggling in some recent ones, so he showed you his value in this game. He's headed towards, I don't know if he'll get to 1,000 yards, but he's going to end up having a really nice season. Huge ups to Colby Parkinson. That was a tough touchdown catch, and he made it. And if Geno gets him the ball a little bit earlier in the, I think it was the third quarter, he probably has a second touchdown in this game. So Colby, he's been quiet all season long, but that was some awesome stuff from Parkinson today, and we needed every bit of it as it turned out. So Waldron, play calling, Carroll, it's the same stuff. We don't attack the middle of the field hardly ever, and when we do, good things happen, and then we don't go back to it. I don't know who's responsible for that. I don't think it's Waldron, and I don't think it's Geno. I'll put it that way. Running the ball, wasting downs. Like, we ran the ball. We got like less than 3 minutes left. It's 1st and 10 up at like the 40-yard line, and we wasted down running the ball when we know we can't run the ball. We ran the ball for 2 yards a carry. I'm sorry, 3 yards a carry in this game. Not even. It was like 2.9. I'm looking at it on screen right now. Yeah, 2.9 yards a carry, and you're wasting downs on a 4-minute drive running the ball. You can't run the ball. Don't run the ball until you can actually do it. Like, work on it in practice until the running plays actually work. Then you can run them. That's how this should work. Not, we can't run the ball, but we're going to do it anyway because maybe on this snap, this will be like the 20% of the time when K9 does some superhero stuff and breaks 18 tackles and dances like 3 defenders out of their shoes and picks up 25 yards when he should have gotten -2. No. Actually figure out an offensive line that can block up front and then run behind them. Because, I mean, just an absolute mess up front, really. That's my main negative takeaway on this offense. I know people are down on Waldron. I know some people were calling for Geno at halftime, which, I mean, of course, I don't agree with it, but I do understand the desire to make a change when things are not going well. But to me, that offensive line is the number one thing. So, mixed bag on offense, but 20 points on 8 drives, especially when 14 of those points come in the fourth quarter, is not really that bad. Like, I will live with that on the road. Now, I don't know if I'm willing to live with it because you're playing a bunch of Tennessee second and third stringers. Should be something a little better than that. But I know this is going to sound a little bit weird, but I'm looking at this defense, and I'm like, 17 points on 8 drives, that's not very good. I know it looks okay. I know 17 points allowed in a game looks okay. But really, the only thing we did well was rush the quarterback. We had a great pass rush in this game. Mafe was a monster. I thought Draymond played good. I thought Leonard Williams played pretty good. The pass rush was on point, man. But other than that, 0 turnovers forced, and we got run all over by well past his prime Derrick Henry, and embarrassingly enough, Ryan Tannehill actually destroyed us on the ground. So I can't even really get up on that. Like, what is there to hang your hat on defense other than just the very surface level 17 points, which that's okay, but again, why did we get run all over? 162 rushing yards, 5.2 yards a carry. The Titans are playing backups all over their offensive line, and they had to put in another one today. They put in Andre Dillard. So I, it's hard for me to take much happiness from that. Playing a 60-minute game against this Titans offense and not forcing a single turnover is very disappointing. Woolen had a chance at one and he dropped it. I understand that that's a player thing, but like, you can't force Ryan Tannehill into one turnover over the course of a 60-minute game. And I know Tannehill didn't have a very good game. 152 passing yards on 26 attempts is fine. But when he needed some plays on third down, it seemed to me that he could get them. It seemed to me that he could get what he wanted. So hard for me to look at that and go, that's something I can feel great about. The only thing in this game I feel like I can feel great about is this pass rush, which they went off, but then we couldn't stop the run. We got out-physicaled on the line of scrimmage still because they ran the ball for 160 plus yards. So why are a bunch of backup offensive linemen schooling my starting defensive line? And you had the usual crap, the soft zone, the let's play 10 yards off receivers on 3rd and 9. Let's give them easy completions underneath here. Let's just pray that our pass rushers can do some superhuman stuff and get home on the quarterback before he can get the safety valve check down out. I don't know. The defense, the end result is not bad, but I'm not impressed. The offense, I'm a little higher on the offense right now. Not that everything was great. Like I said, the play calling and the schematic stuff is highly suspect. We run stuff, and it looks like the defense was ready for it. Like it was like a dump off play to K9 inside the 5-yard line that we ran in, I want to say, the second quarter, and it looked like Tennessee knew it was coming. We had a couple other plays where, like the run to Charbonnet from the 2-yard line with a minute left. It looked like Tennessee knew it was coming, and we didn't really have any contingency plan to stop it. And it's just, I swear I don't see this very much with other offenses. We just keep running stuff that these other teams seem like they know it's coming. So I'm frustrated with that. The offensive line, I think we just need different players. I just think this group of players isn't good enough. So no sense in being upset about that, because I think most of these guys will be gone in the offseason. At the very least, Lewis and Brown will probably be gone, and Bradford will either be better next year because he'll have experience, or hopefully we have somebody better. But that play calling thing, the schematic stuff, where it just seems like we're not fooling anybody with anything that we do, it's tough. But again, 14 points in the fourth quarter, I'm going to be pretty happy with that most of the time. And I just struggle with this one, right? Because the Titans had so many injuries in this game, so beat up, so unbelievably beat up going into this game, missing so many of their key players that it's hard for me to look at this game and go, this is something I'm going to get excited about. This is something that makes me feel good about these next two games. I know it was a 10 a.m. game. I know it was cross country. I know we had our own slew of injuries, like Witherspoon in this game would have made a big difference because Kobe Bryant did not play well at all. Wasn't impressed with Quandre Diggs once again. Julian Love, I thought, played fairly well. Losing Jordan Brooks, that's another one. Actually, I should throw that in there. We lost Jordan Brooks midway through this game. That is a problem. That is a tragedy. That affects the defense very negatively, but I have a hard time believing that cancels out all the stuff Tennessee was dealing with going into this game. And to barely scrape it out, to need to convert 3rd and 14 with 2 minutes left to save the game and the season, I don't know. It's hard. I'm struggling here, guys. I really expected a little bit better. I knew we were going to come out flat, but to take 3 quarters to really wake up, that's not good enough for me. All right. Got the win. See you guys later tonight. Go Hawks. We'll be streaming later. See ya.